Hello, this is Captain Poodle speaking. Are you ready to find love?
Yes, ahoy, matey.
Love. Exciting and new. Go online. They're catfishing you.
Shocker.
Fiancé.
Soon you'll be flying to parts unknown.
90-day fiancé.
Marrying someone you only met on your phone.
Be they French or Chinese, a brand new K1 visa's the key.
Ooh, the key to what, Poodle?
To love.
It's reality, yes,
Let's love.
we're recording.
Okay.
Y'all,
You just
Poodle's
berated
wearing...
me about wearing green.
I just said you should wear green more.
But you said it with scorn in your voice.
Well, you don't wear that green. You wear the wrong green. But you should wear a good green. It makes your eyes look so pretty.
Well, this is I have flecks in my eyes that make me my eyes look blue if I'm wearing blue or green if I'm wearing green.
You should just let me pick out your clothes more.
Nope. Not gonna
Fine.
do that. Yo, this is reality gaze.
This is reality
This
gay.
is reality gares.
And this is Hi.
Hi.
Y'all, for any of you newcomers, I'm Maddie, a.k.a. Matt Marr,
And I am Poodle.
a.k.a. Jake Anthony.
Sorry, I just forgotten the next part of it.
This is why we're never going to be host on E, because you fucked that up.
I you know how bad can you imagine me as on QVC trying to but actually you would be terrible because you wouldn't really remember the product name.
Oh, no, I would, because it would be in front of me on a card.
I see.
I am not arrogant about a lot of things, but one, a mascot, y'all. Y'all have heard me talk about being a mascot.
Oh no, we're not
mascot.
going to go there.
And secondly, and even my friend Ty Mayberry, who works for
You
HSN,
can read a
said,
cue card.
He said, "No," he said, "You would be a fantastic HSN or QVC personality."
I can see that as long as everything is written on the card.
No, just the whole point. Only the product is written on the card and the talking points. The rest is all ad-libbed. I'm great at that. I'm great at talking about why you need a fucking juicer and why a juicer I can make up that shit for days, and it's easy to clean too.
I totally agree. I don't know if HSN really loves fags.
Oh yes.
Oh, really?
Okay.
I don't watch it. No.
Oh, I watch HSN or QVC sometimes it's like Zen to me. It's like Dr. Pimple Popper. I just watch it. It just, especially at Christmas, I love the Today Special Value. Oh, I miss the days now you can go online and just buy one. Before, you got to call in. It's
like
hardcore.
Cracker Factory from Gene Bice.
Yeah. Yes. In the Kitchen with Bob. Love it.
That's a show.
Well, he's not on anymore. But y'all, anyway, my friend, he's so hot and he's straight. But my friend Ty Mayberry he's on HSN and he sells all this shit. He's great. So needless to say, y'all, if you need a casserole dish that's nonstick, that's for the environment, EPA, free or whatever, I'll sell that shit. That's all I wanted to say.
Oh, I was like, what? I get what you're saying now.
Yeah.
We need to move on. I want to here's a couple announcements before we get into the episode. Not so silent partners. I assume this is Andre and Libby that they're talking about because they overhear Becky.
Becky's in the back of the bus. Hey,
I hear you
are you talking about me? Hey, this bus is bouncy. I have to pee.
I wish there would the drinks fell out on her face.
Well, I mean, if it was anything like when Bill Trisciani drove bus 6 on the way home, he would throw an eraser at you if you would talk up. So she just needed an eraser thrown at her.
Wait, he had an arsenal of erasers on the bus?
He'd bring his old erasers, because he taught civics or government or something like that. He was really a coach. But when he had them in a bucket. And if you mouthed him, he'd throw erasers back at the bus.
So I just need clarity, and we have to move on.
No, that's fine.
I need clarity. So he walked to the bus with a bucket full of used erasers to throw at students.
Yeah, because he would put them on the bus. He put them on the bus when he drove us home. He was the bus driver.
I understand that.
Yeah, okay.
But does he realize as a teacher he could have been written up for that? For trying to injure his students.
Oh, we thought it was funny. He would never like turn around because he'd be driving while he was doing it. So he would take one hand off the wheel, stick it in the bucket, and then kind of throw it backwards. And so we'd laugh at it.
But what was the point of it then?
It was shtick. Everybody's got to get a gimmick.
Not a bus driver.
Well, he was a very famous bus 6 was a popular bus.
No. There was not a popular bus or a famous bus route.
It might have been bus 4. It was bus 4. It was bus 6. And then in middle school,
I want to be anywhere else. I want to be anywhere else but here.
It was a very popular bus. Very popular.
I refuse to say that a bus was popular.
It was.
No one wanted to ride the bus. No one. I rode the bus with a bus driver with a rat tail, and she got in fights at bars.
She did. We liked the bus.
No one liked riding the bus.
Except when I was... No, we did it, except for sometimes he would do backwards day, and he would do the route backwards, and I was the first person to get off, and I didn't know it. I was new to ride the bus when I was in first grade or second grade, and I started crying because I thought I wasn't going to get home till 10 p.m.
If you were the first person to get off the bus, it was great to ride the bus. I was like the second to last to get off the bus.
Oh, I knew if I didn't get home in time, I couldn't watch Newhart with my mama after dinner.
Everything becomes clear now.
Anyway,
Newhart.
Trish said, it's fine. I'll get you home in time for Newhart.
Okay, we got to move on. We have to move on.
Y'all, season 6, episode 9.
This was all so real, and I wasn't ready for it. I'm sorry I allowed you to go here.
You asked questions.
I know, and that I'm sorry for that now. Popular bus. No, y'all.
You keep bringing it up, and I'm going to completely deny you.
Come at us if you enjoyed riding the bus.
No, I mean, I enjoyed it. It was okay, but I meant the bus was popular. Like the popular kids, everybody wanted to be on our bus route.
You're still being like ferried around town and waiting to be dropped off.
Well,
it's still a fucking nightmare.
One time there was a bus our van out of the high school. What was his name? Jared Van Buskirk, and his shitty little van broke down.
Wait, his name was Jared Van Buskirk, but he had a van?
Van Buskirk. That's true. That's funny.
I'm in a fucking other dimension.
Anyway, his van died, and he had one of those Ford Astros, and Trish, because we all called him Trish, he ended up using the bus to push him forward into the street.
Over into the bus?
With the bus, he pushed him into the Hatley's front lawn, and then Coach Hatley gave him a tow, and we cheered. We were like, yay, we're the hero bus.
How do you remember all this, but you can't remember which one is Dawn and which one is Cher?
Go figure.
That reminds me. We're doing Smothered on our Patreon.
Doing Smothered.
We actually just did
I'm enjoying it.
We did an insemination theater, which several of you have told did not set well with your meal schedule.
You can look at that on our Instagram.
I also want to say I was an unwilling participant on that, and I was almost dragged kicking and screaming into it, and I did not want to do it.
Kind of like I felt during our Extreme Sisters when someone wanted to do an interview with a placenta.
I will tell you an update on the placenta. Spike. He said that his deal is gone because Discovery refused after he was on our show.
He didn't honor his NDA.
He was done. So the placenta, you guys, doesn't have a development deal.
Extreme Sisters is done, and so Poodle, what are we going to do? We got new stuff coming down the pipeline.
What are we going to do? Because on our $8 Patreon now we will have in the same slot, the same cringe slot, me, you. And my ex. every cringe tier show has a place for you to kind of like get like burp up bile.
I mean, we could call this the cringe tier. We could also call this the Maddie's Loves. I don't know why. This
It's
is
disgusting.
like where I live. This is my favorite
Absolutely
type of show.
disgusting.
I love it so much.
I enjoy making fun of this garbage, but it hits me in a place where I want to have empathy for them, but then my empathy kind of short circuits, and then I just want to go like take a really hot shower because it all feels gross to me because it makes me feel bad about humanity.
I get that.
Anyway, so we're doing that. Also, you guys, big news on our free feed, which you're listening to right now.
Mm-hmm.
We've mentioned this, but we weren't giving you a certain. We're jumping into other big monoliths of shows, and the first of those is going to be Below Deck Med. Maybe you shouldn't have screamed and blown out the microphone as I scratch my Hitler mustache. No, it is. We're doing Below Deck Med. Captain Sandy, Malia, all the crew. We're starting it this season. Now, it does premiere, if you have Paramount Plus, it does premiere on the 23rd of June. But then normally, I believe it's the 28th or the 29th.
Yes. And that's when our show will drop, when the 28th, right. 29th. So we're excited.
But that's a big deal. I've watched it for a long time. This one's watched maybe 2 episodes.
If it goes well, we might do more Below Deck. We might continue on. So
it's my favorite Bravo show.
We'll see how it goes. And no, we're not going to cover Housewives. Don't come for us and ask. We have no desire
Y'all
to talk.
Subscribe to Crappens. They do it so much better, and they know everybody on there.
I know they do Below Deck too, but I know y'all might think, oh, we're crossing over into all that.
Not really, no.
We're not. Well, we're doing Southern Charm, Below Deck.
I feel like we just do we're very different people, even though we like them a lot. They're our friends. I love them. And we do very different shows, and there is plenty of room in the podcast verse for people to cover. That's why someone like Cray Cray will do a very different show than our show, and someone like Aaron Martin and Mary Payne from Pink Shade will do a very different show than Cray Cray. And people want to. You can either listen to them all or listen to one of them. We don't care. We're just happy anyone listens to us.
If you listen to Crappens and you listen to us, you're gay.
That's true. Or
there's a lot of gay.
Or you could pass as a gay man if you
know
were a
what?
woman.
Or I'm going to be honest. Or Aaron Martin or Mary Payne, you're gay. Because they're two gay men.
Pretty gay.
I love them so much. They're so funny.
They're pretty gay.
They're pretty gay.
Yeah. And Kim is pretty gay from Kyle.
That's true.
From Kim and
Kyle,
Kyle.
We wish was gay.
Ooh.
Because y'all, we saw him once. He's gorgeous.
Y'all, he made the mistake of keeping his light on one time and not turning it off.
Meanwhile, Kim just was in a black screen and we just saw her petting a cat. I thought we just saw her hand go into the light.
Supposedly, y'all, they're teasing that they're going to come out, but I don't know.
Who knows?
We're going to let them come out in their own time.
In their own time. So, yes, we're doing...
2 white people.
2 white people. We're doing Below Deck Med, and we also are going to be, y'all, Lalu, we're recording the show on Friday. That's going to air on Monday night. So Lalu aired, if you're listening to this, aired on Friday. So the first episode dropped.
All new couples.
So we're going to put the first episode out for free, just for you to, just the tip, so y'all can remember what the show's about. And then if you want to listen to that, you can jump into the Reality Gaze extra content at the $8
and if
tier
you're
on
like
us,
you do not want never just the tip.
You want a raw doggy. Anyway,
like when the plumber snakes your drain.
Y'all, there's even more. Not only is Darcy and Stacey coming back in July, but at the end of this month, Too Hot to Handle is coming back, season 2.
And that's going to be at our $5 level that's our Netflix binges. So if you're a $5 Patreon member, you're going to get that.
Well, you're not going to get the Bi-Curious now. That's on the $5. We moved
Also,
the Bi-Curious
you will
from
get
the
the Bi-Curious
$8
as well.
to the $5.
Yes.
Because the cringe tier, there's so much cringe.
It is bloated.
Got a little bloated, like after Poodle, when you put a chicken pot pie and homemade ice cream in front of Poodle. He's going to eat it all.
Yeah, or me, like when I eat too many like a Chinese buffet.
Yes.
I get soy bloat.
And me when I eat barbecue and I just have meat sweats.
Yeah, it's
kind of
bloated
burping.
like that. Yeah.
That's how the cringe tier feels right now. So we thought we're going to put the Bi-Curious down. And so if you're in the Patreon, you can vote on that. So be sure, all the patrons know. I'm not going to go too much to it here, but we did email you a poll. Vote on that. We're going to be deciding that.
The three choices are Too Large, the episode with Corey, the so-called thick bitch, and also Family Karma, which will be season 2, episode 4, or So Freaking Cheap, the pilot episode. Right now, I believe Too Large is winning, but I think I'm going to close that on Monday.
Okay. Yeah, great.
Okay.
I think that's our announcements. We're done.
One more thing. Our charity for this month in the Sissy Squad is the Ali Forney Center for Pride Month. This is to help LGBTQ plus teens who are experiencing homelessness, and it gives them tools to kind of get out of the situation they're in and how to deal with the harms that they might have incurred during times when they were homeless. So it's a great charity.
It is a wonderful, wonderful charity. I wonder, let's see. Did we have so far? We've raised $1,300. So
That's
we have
great.
a goal. Yeah, we have a goal of 3,000, y'all. So again, if every sissy even in the private Facebook group, our Sissy Squad, we've got 8,500 members there.
Yep.
If everybody gave $1,
No, 8,700 now.
Oh wow! If you can, that's okay. We understand it too. But if you can, even $1 all adds up.
Yep.
Okay, Poodle. I'll let you go to the piano, and then we'll start.
Oh, that's right.
Hurry up.
Time for the tears of Kalani. Oh, oh, oh. Oh,
The Tears of Kalani. Produced by two gay guys. And also past trauma. This episode is called South Africa or No Africa.
Make a recording of that.
I enjoyed it. No, I like it because you play and you start to play. You didn't hear it. And then I do the old school voiceovers.
Oh,
from the
I love
50s.
it.
Yes, I said this episode called To South Africa or No Africa.
That's Ronald and Tiffany.
Oh, yeah, wrong person.
I thought we were going to do Tiffany and Kalani.
We are doing Tiffany and Kalani.
You fucked up the bit. Should we do this again?
No, because it's fun when you get angry.
No, you fucked up the bit. I literally went and played something on the piano. Do you know how rare that is that I can do that? And you fuck up a bit? God. I swear to God, if you do this on a live show, I will fucking destroy you. On the stage.
Maybe we should pause it and start over because that just sounded hurtful.
I meant it to.
And destroy me, I'm fine.
You know, let's just move on. Fuck this. Fuck this. You've already ruined it. You're already broken down by your father.
It's been a rough day.
By having to put in cable.
We had the cable company here for
Home
5
Help
hours.
Minute.
Anyway, it's been a long day.
Let's talk about Tiffany and fucking Ronald.
Yes, let's talk about Tiffany and
the boring boor of a boar, Ronald.
Yeah. Wait, but you said Tiffany and Ronald. Wait, but then you just played the Tears of Kalani.
No, because that's what you told me to do. And you told me to go to the piano. So you're not even getting, seeing how you fucked up.
So when we get to Kalani, you'll play it again. That's great. Oh, I love that. Okay, perfect. All right, Tiffany and Ronald.
Y'all, but I still remember Bill Trisciani's classroom. It was classroom 227. Well, I don't know why I can remember that from school, and he drove the bus.
Yeah, that's what I don't get. It's like everything was sealed in amber in your memory, and everything past that
After
is
like
vanilla pudding.
Maybe my brain is a computer, and Y2K happened, and everything just shorted out after 2000.
No, I think you're in a steep decline. That's what it is.
Yeah, well, that could happen.
I feel like I'm gonna have to prop you up in like 5 years and like.
I wish I could say you're wrong.
Canned asparagus.
No, it's gonna be Weekend at Maddie's. All right.
You'd be so much easier if it was just a corpse,
and
then just like a gay. I could just voice you.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It'd be easier.
Can you imagine? Yeah. I was thinking about this the other day. Imagine someone pitching Weekend at Bernie's.
Yeah.
So this guy, his dead body, and these two guys are going to carry around a dead body all weekend.
It's
the guy
hilarious.
Goes, sure.
Sold.
I often think about movie pitches sometimes and how they do them, but that's one of my favorite movies to pitch. Let's talk about Tiffany and Ronald. Y'all, they are going to South Africa for Christmas. Angelique, her friend, is helping them. Tiffany's losing her mind because, of course, Tiffany's forgotten about all the nasty stuff that Ronald has said to her, and she can't wait just to be with her husband again. And y'all, prayers, because she's flying with Daniel and a young child as a Carly.
Yeah.
So that's tough.
I bet this is... Maybe people will come for me. But I get it. You're trying to teach your child and all that. So I never judge anyone. I'm not judging publicly. Well, maybe I am. But I just think Tiffany seems like the parent who talks really loudly to their kids.
Totally.
So everybody can hear them.
100%.
And I'm fine with people.
Daniel, you're going to do this.
Okay,
Daniel.
Mommy. Okay, Mommy.
What do you say? Carly, are you wet? Carly, are you wet?
Carly, you have to tell Mom you're wet because then I can take you to the bathroom. So if you poop a doopy, I need to know so I can get to the bathroom. And everybody...
Yes, I'll have the chicken.
Yeah.
I'll have the chicken.
Yes.
Yeah.
You have Sprite Zero? Thank you.
And a double Jack and Coke, please.
Yeah. So I think she's a great mom. So I'm not criticizing her that. I think she's a fantastic, but y'all, everybody knows that she's parenting.
I would criticize her for doing this at Christmas.
Well, for her ruining all that stuff and all that, that's a whole...
Here's why. Ronald has basically already intimated in every possible way that he's going to make it so hard for her to leave.
So let's talk about
her.
that. Just because there's not much Tiffany. She just says she's getting over there, and then they jump to Ronald.
Ronald's building a room for Daniel in his garage, which sounds just really hot to me. Can you imagine a garage bedroom? It'd be so hot to sleep in.
Thank you. I was thinking you meant sexually hot, and I was really bothered.
No. I meant the bedroom being really hot.
Yeah, you just can't build in ventilation easily.
Ronald's saying these lovely things because you know how we feel about Ronald, you guys. Number one, he's a loser.
Yeah.
Number two,
he's a loser.
He is the literal spirit of colonialism. Like he's gonna get what he wants, and he's gonna take it from you, and he's gonna like revel in taking it from you.
Oh yeah,
he's going to like wield his power over you. He says, "I just want to allow them to go back." And I wrote, "That's fucking terrible."
Yeah, because he says if they'll get extended here, or he'll fly back with them.
My favorite is, "I deserve to spend time with my family."
I wrote after
it.
that, I went, this is such addict behavior of this whole, first of all, this whole at the last minute deciding to build a room, like let me make grand gestures.
Yep.
And he's all, and again, I don't know. I just don't know what program Ronald did, but the
He's
self-righteous.
cured. He's cured.
And you know what?
His gambling problem is of the past.
And maybe I shouldn't say that. Actually, I keep saying I don't know the program. Maybe it's actually not the program. Maybe it's just Ronald. His self-righteousness and his way of pretty much just thinking about things filtered through the perspective of how it works out for him.
I'm cured of my gambling addiction.
And he basically says, I'm going to show her that I can be there, that I can be a dad. And I'm like, but again, you've had a whole year.
Exactly.
You've had a whole year
to have a mindset to live in South Africa. I need to have
Daniel's,
a mindset.
So that's the ideology we're dealing with here, y'all, is that he had a whole year to show them who he was. And he didn't do, at least from the edit we've seen, he didn't do a lot. He did jack shit. And then the night before, he's going to build Daniel a garage as this grand gesture. You know why? Because he wants Daniel to love him more and more because he knows that makes it harder on Tiffany to leave him.
And it's all super manipulative.
Yes.
And when he says, this is what just turned my blood to ice. He says, if she doesn't want to live in South Africa, I'll force her.
He said, I'll force her. It was gross.
Y'all, this is a level of toxicity of men that we've seen before, but he's saying the quiet part out loud here. This is terrible man.
He's just, and I think a lot of that is, I just don't think he's a very
fucking Neanderthal.
I don't think he's intelligent at all. Not a lot of emotional intelligence at all. So he doesn't even think about, I think he's, again, so kind of just narcissist that he doesn't think about how would that make me sound if I said that out loud.
Worse. I think he's super manipulative. I think he considers all women beneath him.
I agree with that.
And I think,
Tiffany's the wrong person to get married if you think that.
Probably in private or other ways has probably been verbally abusive towards his mother, because she's completely beat down around him.
Possibly,
if you watch that.
But yay, Tiffany and Daniel and the baby get there. Yay! They're in South Africa.
Don't you just see? This whole storyline is one of those trains that's running towards where the train track is just fallen off. You know it's not going to end well, and you just can't stop watching.
Or like in Polar Express, where the train goes off the train track and into the ice, but instead of finding the track again, it just falls into chilly ice and all the children die.
I never saw that movie because the animation looked like it would bother me.
You know what? I didn't for the same reason. And then it's my nephew's favorite Christmas movie because it came out like when they were. And I have to say, it's a wonderful, wonderful Christmas movie. And I think
I may have to check it out.
It's very much about kind of it's very in a good sentimental way. I actually think it would make you cry.
Most children's movies make me cry
because it's about faith and believing and what do you believe in.
That gets me. That will get me.
Yeah.
The animation will bother me though, I'm afraid. So that's even Frozen, y'all. The animation for Frozen bothered me. I've gotten used to it, but apparently all animation is going to be that way from now on.
I think that's just normal animation.
I don't like it.
It's not Pixar. Pixar doesn't bother you, all the computer animation.
No, that doesn't bother me, but there was something about Frozen that bothered me.
I think it wasn't the animation because you like Tangled, and that's the same type of animation. I think it's because...
I don't love Tangled. I love the plot of Tangled.
But I thought you liked the music.
The music is great. I still don't like watching it.
I think you're just colored because you hated Frozen so much, and I didn't like it either.
Are we coming out that say we're anti-Frozen?
We've already said that.
This feels rough. This feels like I feel like I'm just being dragged. I am anti-Frozen though.
We've said this. Now
I will say Frozen 2 is a better film. I can't believe I'm saying it.
Not familiar.
I saw it. I saw it because someone I was dating made me watch it. And then about halfway through, we fooled around because that's what you do when you watch a movie with someone you're dating. Anyway, that's what I do. You just unzip their pants.
Let's move on.
Right?
Yeah.
Who's watching a movie with someone you're dating?
So y'all,
Maybe I'm just slutty.
yeah, there we are. There we are.
Anyway, let's move on.
So Tiffany totally pulls a Darcy, and she goes into the bathroom.
I
at the
wrote that
airport.
too. She pulls gotta get sexy for my man.
Gotta get sexy for my British man. And
Put on this body wash.
She does her makeup, changes her clothes, freshens up. So
she's the best version of herself, which is actually not real.
Because when Ronald and his mom get there, because y'all, we forgot, this is the first time the grandparents are seeing their grandbaby. And so
I guess so. Well, they've seen them via Zoom, but that's about it.
Actually, this is the first time Ronald's seen his baby, isn't it?
He's seen her before.
How? Well, how did he see her and then the parents didn't see her?
She visited. Or I think they've seen her before. I think you're incorrect.
I'm wrong. So they come when Ronald and his mom get there, though, y'all. It's like pure daylight outside. Like it's not like 6 o'clock. It's like 3 in the afternoon.
And
it
was a nice effect.
When Tiffany comes out, it's pitch black.
I know. I was thinking like she was in there for an hour and a half.
It takes 2 hours for her to do a makeup. It looks flawless, but she fucking beats her face.
So Carly's got a new outfit on.
Daniel, do you know how many hours Daniel's just has stared at his mom doing makeup, waiting for her to leave?
Daniel's probably the most patient child ever. He's definitely, as far as like the kids, the older kids of the 9-Day universe, Daniel, Max, Michael's son from Michael and Juliana.
Cece just graduated into middle school.
Good for her. I like those kids.
I love Max. I love Cece.
You know who's not? Who Brett's daughter, who was a brat. I can't remember her name. It was something ridiculous.
She was a brat. And so, y'all, they like see each other. The mom is excited because she's like, Ronald's done a lot in 2 years. He's done a lot in 2 years, and he's welcomed his family home. And I can't believe he's the same guy.
That's Scottish, but
I don't know
South African.
Yeah, it's South African. So I don't know what mom is seeing, but she says he's a different guy now, and that he's gotten a situation together.
I did write. It's always sweet for me to see Ronald and Daniel together, even though I know, and I think probably Ronald's at his best when he's around his kids. And I think he does love his kids, but
very much so.
It's still fucking Ronald, still fucking like gourd-headed Ronald, who is just like a fucking Neanderthal.
If you want to be a good parent, and it's hard to do all the time, but if you want to be a really great parent, you've got to get out of your own way and just be the parent that the kid needs sometimes and not the parent that you want to be.
I think that's really hard for him.
And I think that's really hard for Ronald. But he does say to Daniel, he's like, Daniel like screams. He's like, ah! And he's like, my boy. And he's like, he said, you did such a great job of helping mommy.
I know.
Like, I thought that was such a beautiful thing to say to him, just to make him feel proud. And it was moving to me, seeing him see Daniel, seeing him see the baby, Carly. It was very sweet.
I'm often moved by it too. Let me provide one darker viewpoint of it.
Oh God.
Ronald always knows what to say at the best times because he's an addict and he's a master actor.
Well, he's a manipulator. People that struggle with addiction are often master manipulators because they had to do it to get ahead.
So I even when I get touched by something like that, I go, ooh, but still, I feel like this is part of the game. This is part of the game. And I don't know if you watched him on Love Games, you guys. He's a complete douche.
Yo, he is a douche. Daniel says to his dad, again, he's like, Dad, all of this was worth it. It was totally worth it.
Oh,
that broke my heart because we get a lot
Daniel doesn't get it yet.
Well, we get a lot of perspective of how hard this is on Tiffany. And Tiffany talks about her family, but we don't hear the day-to-day. This has got to be really hard on Daniel to finally have a father, and then he's not with him for a year.
Here's the thing. In a way, Daniel parents Tiffany. We know that. So Daniel thinks he has to stay strong for his mom.
Oh, for sure.
And that's why without therapy, Daniel's going to have issues down the road. Almost certainly.
Yeah, he's going to have a lot. I think Daniel's is going to end up having, I think stuff that I ended up having with my parents getting divorced, and it wasn't my mother's fault or anything at all, but still just
codependency issues.
Well, my mother, yeah, she made choices necessary that weren't nothing bad. She did the best that she could, but still, it's hard, y'all, because sometimes as a parent, you're doing the best that you can, but it's still not the best decision for your child. And you're
telling your gay son to hug you as you cry.
Yeah, and do your makeup. She never asked that. But it's this. I think when he gets older, he's going to have anger issues with his mom. And I luckily was in therapy, and I worked through that, and now I'm fine with that. I was able to kind of like heal the inner child in that respect. That'll be something for Daniel to work on.
What do you think of? They get home and they're impressed with the apartment. I think the apartment looks like something out of American Psycho. Lots of black leather and chrome. Y'all.
You have been looking at nice apartments and you just moved into an apartment. You're not coming from the perspective of this is Ronald.
I agree. I'm just saying it looks really dated.
It looked fine to me. I really didn't pay attention that much, but it didn't look like a Taj Mahal. But
no, I was kind of surprised. Ronald did this, and
I was
Ronald's
too.
a fuck up, y'all. I expected like a 1-bedroom shack.
I did too. When he had this apartment, and I want to know. Wait a minute. How long were you here? Like, what the hell?
What'd you think of Daniel's bedroom when he showed it to you? That blue actually burned my eyes. Like the rods and cones in my eyes went, I need a break.
Okay, I want everyone to close your eyes and take a breath, okay? And I want you to imagine that what I'm about to say, pretend that this is not a child's room at all, so don't come at me. But close your eyes and tell me if that room didn't either look like a sex room or a murder dungeon.
It really kind of did.
It really did.
It is the place where where Ted Bundy murdered co-eds.
Or there's going to be a sling and like 3 guys are going to put a pig leather mask on you and fuck you.
That's why it looked familiar.
Yeah. But it was like, he wrote,
why does this seem familiar?
He wrote, have I been to South Africa? ... Question.
Why do I smell poppers? Or is that paint?
That's paint, yes. I mean, when you have to paint the floor, that's because there's blood or semen stains. Or piss. Anyway, that's what I thought.
Yeah, like the gimp shit in the corner. So
but that's so Ronald. Yes, exactly. That's so Ronald, though. But he decides at the last minute to build this room. But Daniel can't even sleep in it because there's paint fumes.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, he waited till the very last minute to do it.
He probably stayed up all night to do it. Like this mania.
Addict behavior.
It was just. Ugh.
Like I said, this is a runaway train.
He is
runaway train, never going back. Wrong way on a one-way track. Seems like I should be getting somewhere. Somehow I'm neither here nor there. He was married. Dave Perner was married to Winona Ryder. Maybe she still is. Yeah. Wow. I think she's definitely moved on.
No. By the way, if you're watching
Soul Asylum,
if you're watching,
you have no idea who this is.
Soul Asylum. I think I loved you before I met you.
That's Savage Garden.
Starts with an S. Gary, y'all, if you're watching the Intimate Board, you're hearing what's that sound. This is my wooden whistle. That's it.
Did you expect applause?
No, I was just telling everybody on Intimate Portrait, like they were like working at their desk while watching the video, and they went, "Wait a minute, what's that sound? Was that Maddie's asshole because the wind whistled by?" Close.
I
am in Oklahoma. Every time I walk outside, people go, "What is that whistling?" And I just put my hand over my ass and I go, "Not familiar."
Basically, she then Tiffany is saying something like, "Oh, if anybody else, they're like anybody American wants like a bedroom for their kid, they just like I don't know, you get a 2-bedroom. My husband, my man, builds one." So when she just puts these rose-colored glasses on,
okay,
or as Natalie says, my pink glasses. I have put on my pink glasses.
When she said, "My husband, he builds an extra room," I took for that she was saying that to try to make Ronald feel good. But in my head, what y'all listen to, and maybe, but even go back and watch this again. But everything Tiffany says, there's just the tone and the energy of, this is crazy that I'm going through with this.
Totally. She's been like that always through.
Well, this is another level, I feel like. This is even when she was talking about being excited to go on the trip, you could just tell she doesn't want to be here at all.
No. Could the dicking be that good? And maybe she's convinced herself. Was the dicking that good at the beginning?
I don't think Ronald's a great lover. Maybe he is.
I don't think so. But
some guys that are jerks are really good lovers because they want to look and they want to be like,
truth.
And they want to say like, I'm
the fucking gospel.
There are some narcissists that are like, I'm going to rock your world because I want to be the best.
No, I have known some true dirtbags who were amazing fucks. In fact, the best sex I've ever had have been from dirtbags. I can honestly, I hate to admit it, but it is true.
I mean, for some people, Poodle, why are you checking put down your phone? Don't text them right now.
Whatever happened to Jeremy Big Dick? Whatever happened to him?
So,
or as you say, Jeremy,
yeah. What was it? And my dad said something today. He was talking to the cable guy. Y'all, because when the cable guy came out, they used to work at Uniroyal, the tire plant, when my dad was there. And he's like, yeah, I went in for 20 years. I just couldn't do it anymore. And then they started talking about how fucked up the tire plant is now. So there was 45 minutes of just them shooting the shit outside when it's 100 degrees outside.
I need you to clarify the fact that you live in a town that manufactures tires.
Yeah, Uniroyal. Well, it's a Michelin now.
Right.
Yeah.
Wasn't there also an oil plant? An oil company?
Yeah, there's a Valero refinery.
Y'all.
It's down right over by the Dollar General warehouse.
They should just call this Carcinogen City.
I know. They live. You wonder why my father got cancer. And I told him, I said,
call Aaron Brockovich.
We should, because multiple myeloma is caused from exposure to petroleum. That's what I'm saying. And there's a high percentage of people in Ardmore that have it.
They were probably breathing it in breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
Yes. What are we talking about?
Y'all, someone call Aaron Brockovich.
I just had a sissy who just reached out to me and said she gave someone a stem cell transplant today because she's a multiple myeloma nurse. So I just want to say thank you, sissy, for that message. And my heart goes out to your patient. She said he was a man of the cloth. And I said, I hope he didn't listen to the show. She said, oh, no.
Yikes. No. Unless it's an Episcopal priest, because they'll listen to anything.
They will listen to anything.
A lot of them gay, y'all. Well, a lot of them gay.
A lot of the Catholic ones are gay too.
That's true, but they can't act on it, so they're just pedophiles.
But the Episcopal ones can act on it. Yeah,
we should move on.
We should move on. I think that's all I have.
We should move on. We're going to talk
going
about
to stay. You just don't know it yet. I know. Yeah, you're going to stay.
He did say that. You just don't know it yet. Ugh. Barf. Y'all, if you're like me, Ronald gives you vibes of every possessive boyfriend that your best girlfriend had.
Yeah.
That you're like, dump him. When are you going to dump him? Don't go back to him.
He's so aggro. He's so aggro. Gross.
That's a nice way of putting it, though.
That's probably true, yeah. I know.
To me, he's one of the, we've had a lot of shitty men.
We've had
Andrew,
a lot of shitty men.
We've had big He Shall Not Be Named. We've had
Mark and Nikki.
Oh, right.
Oh, there's that goddamn fly again. This time I've got a fly swatter. I'm ready, fly. Come to me. Come to me. Wrap your wings around you and I'll set you free. I'll hit you in the fucking face. Where are we? What's happening?
That was the weirdest fly hybrid R&B ballad we've ever done.
Y'all, we've got to go to commercial so I can kill this fucking fly.
See you in a bit. You are bad at killing flies.
It's not dead yet, y'all.
You have to take your time.
But I almost broke
close.
Almost broke my light.
You know who's really good at killing flies?
I know, Mother Poodle.
She takes great pleasure in it. Got him.
Boy, you know what you should get her one year? You should get her one of those salt guns that kills flies. They're supposed to work very well.
Salt guns? I don't know anything like that.
You put table salt in it, and it shoots a high-pressure thing of salt at the fly and kills it.
What?
Oh, yes. And so instead of a fly swatter, so it's not as gross and messy, and it doesn't hit like grossness on your countertop.
I think my mother would find the salt gun not as satisfying because she wants to eliminate them. She needs to do that.
Instead, it should be shooting them.
She does like to shoot things. Like when she shoots...
Oh, there it is on the light. There it is.
This is worse than the cricket. Remember?
Oh, did I get it? I don't know.
This is so stupid. This is the stupidest thing we've ever done. I'm going to go on talking about Yara while you try to kill your fly.
I don't think it's dead. Let's move on. Y'all, reminder, Below Deck Med, in case you fast forward to the regular announcements, because some of you do. Below Deck Med,
We're
y'all.
Starting Below Deck Med.
There you go.
We did that first, though.
A lot of people fast forward.
I understand that. I can kind of respect it.
I don't care. Listen to what you want. This isn't... You don't have to be here.
I don't know your life.
It's not like we're your teachers in elementary school and you need to listen to the whole lesson.
I never wanted to listen to the whole lesson. God, I hate authority so much.
So does Yara.
She really does. Y'all,
because
Yara is Superwoman.
Karma hands her ass.
She's going to do whatever she wants. So, y'all, Yara's... She in the bayou with Papa Jovi, she gonna have some lanya, she gonna have some Buddha, she gonna have some let's let up Montaru lay. Cause the hurricane coming.
Oh my God, I did kill the fly. It's on the fly swatter.
Yay. Who cares? So turns out, you guys, 2 days later, the hurricane did blow over. And she just tells Gwen, I'm going back.
I'm going back
where I can be me.
Do
To the Brazil Company.
Mm-mm.
Again, no one knows that song from Bells Are Ringing but me.
And I was about to say, in Hampshire, and something, hurricanes hardly happen. But not to Yara. So the hurricane blows over, and so and I love that she's sitting there in the storm. She's like holding the baby, and Gwen says, well, this is what you do. You just sit and wait. Welcome to Louisiana.
Well, she's like, yeah, welcome to America.
We were hard on her at first because I
love Yara.
We weren't. Well, we did say Yara was there just for the money because we didn't know.
Yeah, because it seemed like that.
It did seem like. I do love Yara. I love Miss Gwen.
Me too.
I'm kind of fine. Jovi is fine. I don't have anything. Jovi's great. I'm totally fine of like a show called Miss Gwen Shows Yara America, and it's just Yara going around the country.
So what is this fucking shit? What is this fucking shit?
And she's like, Yara, this is a Bubba Gumps. I don't know this Bubba Gump.
I will say, Gwen will be on this season more than Jovi probably because he's working.
And
so, I'm glad she has a mother-in-law like Gwen.
Yes, and Gwen tries. She's like, Yara's packing, and you know what? Gwen did a great job because she said, "I don't think you should go back home." She's asking her all these questions. What happens if you get sick? What happens if the baby gets sick? And she's like, "Oh, I can do this." She's like, "Well, how can you take a shower? Like if the baby's like, because the baby is only what, like 2 months old, right?"
Yeah, and that is a tough time. But I will say, Gwen, if my mother had been Gwen, she would have been a lot more passive aggressive, and it would have been like, "Can't believe you're leaving. I don't know what you're going. I don't think you should do this," and a lot of emotional manipulation.
Where Gwen was just very like, "I'll support whatever you do. It's your decision, but."
And she
How
says,
are you going to do this by yourself?
Yara says, Jovi's mom does everything for him, blah, blah, blah. And she's right. Jovi just expects his mother, which is very cultural for Southern boys, and especially Cajun culture.
Well, so
your mom does
wonder,
everything.
I kind of always assume that, oh God, is there another fly? Oh God! But something about the corner of my.
Can you please just fucking focus on the show?
You know what? Fine. But so Yara is, from the Ukraine.
Wow.
What? Oh no! Please don't. Please don't give me. Please don't be a fly. That's not even sound like a fly. It sounds like a car driving around my block, stalking me. That's not a fly. We've got to end this fly bit. Someone's going to give us like 1 star on Apple Podcasts. I love them until the fly bit.
Or I was in until the placenta talked.
Now I'm out. So being from the Ukraine, does Yara... Is it a generation? Do I just assume in every culture, and I think this is wrong of me to assume this, that a mother that lives in the same town as her daughter kind of helps the daughter
it's not
learn
in
how
the
to raise.
Same town. It's actually probably close to an hour away.
But still, Gwen
in the same vicinity.
She makes herself available that an hour is not a big deal for her to drive.
It is a very Southern thing. So, from what I know,
I just am wanting to know, like for Yara, is it like even if she was back in her home back in Ukraine, if it would be weird for her not to be independent, like would her own mother be living with her? Like, is this just not what she's used to?
I think if she was in Ukraine, she would want to be independent. As my mother would say,
I think so too.
It's my fault I raised you so gosh darn independent. That's why you moved across the country.
But Yara does say, and this is such a good point, she says basically nothing is in her control. She moved to this country, COVID happened, like everything is just coming at Yara. She has no kind of autonomy. And she says, I just want to be in my house and raise my baby.
I think this is fine, and I think it's okay to talk about. I wish there were more beats for her storyline.
Yeah,
I think that is
just Jovi was gone a lot.
I think that's partially. Just they're in COVID. There's not a lot to do.
They are though one of the more. Their way she is. I know we wish a lot of couples would have taken a break, like Brandon and Julia and Mike and Natalie. However, because Yara is in this new motherhood and Jovi, it is more. They're still more interesting to me. They're the most interesting of the new
They're more
couples
interesting than Brandon and Julia.
for sure. So, and Mike and Natalie, I mean, now they're just getting crazy, so it's getting good, but they're just crazy.
The most interest, if I was to rank, because I'm going to, the most interest is Tiffany and Ronald for me. Even though it is a train heading towards a fucking trestle that goes to nowhere.
Yes.
Then I might say, strangely, Kalani and Asuelu, because they're going through a huge thing in their marriage. Then probably for me, Andre and Libby, because it's going to be funny drama between the family, because you know where that's going to go. Then probably Yara, because I know where those beats are going to be as well. I thought it might be more interesting, but there's just not been a lot. And And then the shitty bottom of everything is Angela. Who else? Angela, Brandon and Julia, and someone else.
Mike and Natalie.
Yeah, those
Mike
three
and Natalie,
I
I don't
don't give
mind.
a fuck about.
I enjoy Mike and Natalie now because everything is fine. Well, everything that hasn't been said for the past 2 years is finally coming out, and Mike is finally losing his cool, and they're finally screaming and talking at each other.
I agree with that, but I find it miserable to watch.
It's miserable, but at least it's movement. I actually
guess so.
But I also have a thing.
What about yours? What do you think? What are your thoughts?
I'm too beat down from the day to rank them all. I will say Yara, it feels higher for me but I'm just, we always have storylines we're drawn to. I'm always drawn to, it never gets old for me just to kind of struggle to see a woman kind of figure out what's my identity of being a new mom versus being a person in the world. And I was this before, because I think it happens to so many women. And I totally
agree.
Oh, I know. Yeah, you're not saying not.
No, but
that.
I'm saying
it's
that
never.
It's been too much of the same beat. That's what I'm saying.
For me,
this
it's not.
Episode 9.
For me, it feels like things keep happening. And it's an unfolding for her, and it's not. I don't think it's not ever talked about enough about the women's struggle with just raising. It's the hardest job in the world. So,
agreed.
But Tiffany and Ronald are the top for sure. Because, again, it's been a long time and we haven't seen them. So we were interested in the storyline.
It's a boorish bore, y'all.
No. I like Happily Ever After more than you, though. I'm not bored by this season.
I don't like this.
I'm
like Kim and Kyle. They hate it, and so do I.
I don't. I enjoy watching it.
I don't like it. My light is too white. How's that?
So I'm just going to keep on going while you adjust. And so
I don't like that either.
Gwen, she goes home and she's like, she wants to be Wonder Woman. She'll have to do it on her home and do it on her own, but I'll be there for her. And oh no, just flew in front of my face.
God, here, I'll finish it while you try to kill the fly. God damn it!
So we think, okay, everything's peachy rosy. It's all going to work out well. And Yara gets COVID.
Oh, poor, I wrote, poor thing. She didn't need this to happen to her.
This broke my heart. And Yara said, and I bet she was, there was a lot of shaming, I think, at first with COVID. People were like, oh, you must have got COVID because you didn't wear a mask.
I will say, I was one of the people who said, if you got COVID, you weren't taking care of yourself. I was one of those people.
But Yara said, I did everything right. I wore my mask. She said, but what am I going to have to do? I'm alone. I've got to go to the grocery store. I've been, I bet she was doing everything right because she's so crazy and scared of Mila getting sick. You know how she's been with her.
And you never know how concentrated COVID was where she was. And if you had to go out, in that first, I don't know when this sounds like it was like around, this was probably around April.
This was March and April when they were filming this.
And that
maybe May.
That was the...
Yeah, when it was blowing up.
That was when, even if you had your mask on, maybe if you were in a small enclosed space, you could have had somehow gotten COVID.
Exactly.
So, it happened. So... she did move in because she got COVID. She tested positive. She did move in with Gwen and Monty again, and then she's talking to Jovi when she's at his mom's house 1 week later. He's like, "Yeah, you don't look so good. You don't look so good, Yara."
Jovi, why would you say that to me, Jovi? Of course I don't look good.
Yara, I'm just saying. No, you're still pretty. Yara, you're still like gorgeous. I just wish, Yara, I need to tell you, where'd you get it? Where do you think you got it? It's kind of weird that you don't know where you got it.
Because that's a way. Again, I don't think we just knew.
He does try to blame her a little bit,
and she's like,
which is awful.
I can't believe you blame me. I just want to say something. Jovi looks hot in a hat.
He does.
He does. He's
I'm going
sitting
to
on
keep
an old
using my
rig.
Joby voice, which is kind of like a cross between my Chester Cheetah voice and Yara. I don't know why. And also
Never mind. He's not
Destiny.
attractive now when you did that. Thank you. I was worried.
I ruined it.
You
Anyway,
ruined it.
but Mila doesn't have any symptoms, and the doctor has told her to keep breastfeeding because that's actually giving the baby immunity.
Yes.
And she basically repeats the same thing. This is what I'm talking about by beats. She's like, why can't you come home? And we all know this now, and I understand it's irrational and it's what she wants to say. But we all know what she's going to say, and we all know what he's going to say. So that's why I don't give them kind of carte blanche about having the same beats, because I feel like it's been the same beats the whole season.
I wrote, I don't feel sorry for Yara, and she said, then she actually said, Jovi tells me I knew what I was getting into with his job.
Yeah.
She's like, but I wasn't expecting to have a baby.
Shitty. Yeah.
And yes, you weren't expecting to have a baby, but also, unless y'all got pregnant on birth control, but I'm assuming y'all probably weren't. So that's part of it. Then, you should have been more prepared for that. And I know she wants him, but I wanted to that response of him coming back. I feel sorry for her that she's alone, but I want to say, honey, grow up and be an adult, because he's got to work and make money to pay for your both of your baby.
She does say, and I think she just kind of had a moment of clarity. She said, I'm the stupidest woman in the world, because I married a man who doesn't have a normal job. And I know that's coming out of a kind of a dark place and a place of neediness, but I enjoy watching it because it's real and it's good television.
No, that's what I like, this kind of this unfolding of, again, we make the best decisions that we think at the time when we have no idea how they're going to pan out so often.
I agree. I just wish, and maybe it was because of the hurricane and other things, I just wish we would have seen more layers to this storyline. But
we're halfway through. Who knows?
Yeah, who knows? Shall we move on to the tears of Kalani?
I'm so glad we get to do this again. The Tears of Kalani. This episode is called Adventures of Divorce. Poodle almost fell. All right, y'all. Kalani.
You're welcome. I did that twice, you bitch.
Thank you. Kalani feels.
If you fast forward it, you missed when he fucked up the story completely.
Maybe.
So Kalani feels like shit because she was running back and forth between nursing the babies in the cold because they were with her mom, so they were screaming. I have a feeling her children are probably quite needy.
I've said this before. I think she's a very involved mother, but I feel like especially to their oldest son should start to be in an age where he's okay entertaining himself. Their kids seem like they need constant attention, and just some kids are like that.
Here's the thing.
That's not a parenting thing. Some kids are just like that.
We live in an age where we want to cater to children, and when a child screams out for attention, we're going to be there to fill that attention.
Because you screamed out to your mother as a child and she left you in your room.
And look how I turned out. Begging for recognition. Well, and I think it's also to let them cry out things, but also to kind of reassure them and all that stuff. But there's also, I can remember my grandmother saying to me when I was upset about something, she's like, yeah, cry it out. Cry it out. Go ahead. Do what you need to.
Wow.
And
that this got real for Poodle. It's just.
But no, I'm saying I guarantee you, it is. They are pretty. She is definitely a helicopter parent.
I feel like she's very involved. Yeah, but. But there are some, I know some friends that aren't that way that just have needy kids. You just never know.
Possibly.
And so for her though, she had to breastfeed.
But this is I'm a gay man telling you how to raise your child.
Yep,
so
there you go.
There you go.
Send us letters, everybody. Send us letters. You can send us letters. Reality Gays, P.O. Box 6969, West Hollywood, California 90069.
Butter.
So she's doing that, and then Kalani says to Asuelu, she said, I love the conversation by the fire. And Asuelu says, yes, I did too. In fact, I have a beautiful road trip for us. We're going to go see and she says, really? And then we hear honk,
An
honk.
adventure.
And Asuelu goes,
honk, honk.
I hear the beep, beep. Do you think our ride is here? Sometimes he's so cute and funny the way he says things.
It's
very
still
charming.
Don't think it's very cute and funny. I find it annoying.
Never would think this would be the father of my children. But he is funny.
People came for you about thinking Asuelu was hot, and they said you were incorrect.
I still stand by it. If he was my tour guide on a boat and I went to Samoa and he was showing me things, I'd suck his dick.
Nerp to derp.
Yeah.
So Shay, the tour guide, shows up, and she's going to take them on an adventure in Ruthie the Jeep.
Ruthie
is such a lesbian name, and I love it.
I was just about to say, if you know a woman named Ruthie who's not a lesbian, let us know.
We know a Ruthie in our sissy squad, but she's, as far as I know, she's not a lesbian, but it'd be fun if she was.
Oh, I hope so. I love lesbians. They're the best people.
So they're talking about him being a flirt where he's trying to get people to go kayaking. He's like, no, I was just blah, blah, blah. He was a flirt, y'all. He was doing everything he could to get people to do kayaks.
He was a flirt.
So they're going up there, and she's and Shay is just taking them. It's just hitting those things. If you've ever been in a Jeep like that, they don't give a fuck. Part of the experience is to bump you up and down a lot.
I mean, if you're a guy, it makes your balls bounce. I can't even imagine being a woman with huge titties.
Kalani's jugs.
That's gotta hurt.
Yeah. So she basically says that
y'all. She brought that up. We're not just talking about her.
No,
tits.
she's like enjoying the show with her titties.
Some people don't watch the show, and I wanted to think like, are they just talking about her tits for no reason?
Kalani's got tigs.
Well, she brings it up.
She's got tig old bitties, and they're jumping around,
and then
they are puppies that need to be fed.
They get.
That was weird.
I made a lot. If you're watching Intimate Portrait, I've made a lot of faces this episode. So they're driving up to the hill, and they kind of get to this top part, and they get out of the car, and they go to sit, and this is where Kalani's like, well, I need to tell him about the attorney that I talked to about getting a divorce.
And I'm like, why can't you wait till you're back home?
I know. I still don't even think
on this vista.
She feels compelled, and so she tells him that she went to an attorney and
she
talked about divorce.
And he says, wow. Classless. He does say wow, though.
So this section on, I want to say, I thought maybe you didn't feel this way at all. This was one of those riveting part of 90 Day Fiancé I've ever seen.
I wouldn't say it's the most riveting, but I loved this because this is true growth, you guys.
It's true
for him
growth.
Not calling her a fucking bitch. And like he would normally, he's doing well.
Let's talk about it. He literally looks like when she says that to him, you can see his physicality change. He looks like he's been punched in the fucking gut.
He says, I feel betrayed. And I wrote down, he doesn't blow up. He walks up and he says the fire word, Offie, because he's desperately trying to remember that moment, and it is so fucking compelling.
I have goosebumps now just talking about it.
Yeah.
It was, and so he walks away and takes some time alone.
And then she starts crying. So we're back to the tears of Kalani.
Kalani. And so he comes back and Asuelu says, listen, I don't want my anger to control me. And then he stands in front of her and he looks at her and he says,
Are you going to hug me?
Are you going to come hug me because you make me really sad?
You made me really sad. And I will say, I got emotional here.
I got very emotional. And she hugs him and says, I'm really sorry. She just cries into him. And you guys, what we just saw, the fact that he said, you make me really sad, and she is crying to him, this is what Brené Brown talks about vulnerability and using vulnerability to connect with people. Yeah. Because these two people are scared to say something. They're scared to. It's hard for Kalani to say she's sorry. She doesn't say I'm sorry a lot.
No. And then when you hear something in the background going, boom, that's Shay playing Candy Crush for about 2 hours. Because that's how long it took to film this. She's sitting on Ruthie and that Jeep, and she's been playing on her phone for 2 hours.
She hugs and cries a year. Spicy.
Yeah. Good.
And
seriously, y'all, I thought about Shay the entire time.
She was still getting paid.
I know.
But y'all, this is the work. This is the work of what, and I'm not saying that you have to do this if you're in a relationship and it's you're going to go divorce. I'm not saying you work it out to get together, but it's the work. Whether the work to break up, the work to stay together, and I'm just. Who thought we would be moved?
I didn't think we'd be here.
A, moved to tears, and B, saying, good God, these are two good people, and I'm really rooting for them.
And I want to say, he even said, we both made mistakes. I don't want to fight. And then they say, this is the craziest part. And I think this is a lot of Kalani's work where she said, let's take a rock or let's burn what we say. Or because Asuelu suggested that
first. He said, let's burn it. Yeah.
And he said, but let's take this rock and take all our energy out and that we don't take this with us. And y'all, this is the most adult thing they've done in any season we've ever seen them in.
It really,
color me really impressed.
Can they have a new show called Couples Therapy with Kalani and Asuelu where they just counsel people in marriages?
Well, don't worry. The next couple episodes, Moneybags and his sister come back, so it's all gonna go to shit.
Yeah, because the producer was like, Rachel, they're getting back together. This is going to get boring. Please bring in the mom. And the sister.
Send in Moneybags.
We need drama. That's what I want.
Send in Moneybags and make it Christmas to make it even worse.
I guess we're talking about this is like May or April, but I don't know. We don't know when Jovi and Yara is. I don't know if it's Christmas there too.
I don't know.
Anyway,
who cares?
Because Mike is just for Thanksgiving. Yeah, that is the show, y'all.
That's the show.
That's the show. That's the show. I'm still emotional about that, but anyway, y'all.
What does that sound?
Oh, I slammed my beer can down on the countertop. I'm sorry. Anyway, y'all.
Y'all like my sound sensitivity going, what's that sound?
I've got to go patch the wall left from the cable man, the hole in the wall, and then charge the battery to the screwdriver so my dad can screw the boards back on the wall from where they had to take off the board.
This has been the Home Health Minute.
So that's it.
You can find us on Instagram at Reality Gaze Podcast. You can find us on Twitter at Reality Gaze Pod. You can find us on our website at HTTP.
What's
Reality
the
Gaze
HTTP. What's after HTTP?
www.realitygazepodcast.
What's HTTP? Then what?
Reality Gaze Podcast.
No, if you're going to say HTTP, it's http://www.realitygaze.com.
You ruined the joke, but that's fine.
Just get it right, and I won't ruin it. I can't even say that to him with a straight face because I get nothing right.
Nothing. Zero.
Nothing. Y'all,
I have to correct you with everything.
we hope that y'all had, by the time you're listening to this episode, we hope that you had a wonderful Father's Day, because the episode airs on Monday.
Yes.
We hope you had a wonderful Juneteenth.
Which is a new federal holiday as of Friday.
As it fucking should be. So if you're in the Sissy Squad, which we love the squad, we have fun in there, we have a Juneteenth post. So if you're like, Carl, what's Juneteenth? Is that when Donna Mae was born? Are they celebrating her birthday, Carl?
Donna Mae.
Donna Mae is so special.
That's definitely her youngest girl.
It's definitely her youngest. So if you don't know what Juneteenth is, go to the Sissy Squad. We have a post to explain it all.
Or
Google
if you're not in there, Google it.
Google it. But anyway, happy Juneteenth. Happy Father's Day. If this is a celebratory day for you, or if this is a hard day for you, whatever that be for Father's Day.
Or if you have a special daddy in your life, like I do.
Oh, Jesus. Wow.
Happy Daddy's Day, everyone.
Well, we're sending you love regardless of whatever shape or form. Speaking of love, we call these people lonely hearts because, Poodle, aren't we all just lonely hearts looking for love in all the wrong places? Go.
Stop! Why did I remember this? I love it how I look through. I love it how I look through everything. Yes. And if you played Candy Crush through 2 hours of just a film crew capturing a moment, and you've finally gotten past level 1669, call us.